And Mrs. Gordon, do you value education?
Yes, every semester I made the Dean's List and I graduated with honors.
So what did you do after college?
Well, I started looking for a job in teaching social studies, and when I landed the interview at Earhart, I was thrilled because at the time, Earhart was the fastest growing school district in the state.
And do you remember who the principal was at the time?
Glenn Jones.
How did you describe your relationship with the student?
It was good. We hit it off right away, and he offered me the job at the time.
Did you like the new job?
Yes, I mean, I poured my heart and soul into that job from the beginning, and pretty soon I saw it was my labor.
How so?
Well, the students' test scores in history and in social science went up, but more importantly, the students started coming to me for advice with college and careers.
So how did you go about preparing for college?
Well, to better prepare the students for college, I started Earhart's first AP American History course, and I had to try so hard to convince the administration and the parents that the course was a good idea, but I didn't have to try so hard for the students because every year there was a waiting list for the class.
Mrs. Gordon, do you love your students?
Yes, every single last one of them.
And do you have your students' best interests at mind?
Absolutely.
How would you describe your relationship with the colleagues at Earhart?
I got along with everyone pretty well. I was really close with one person in particular, and that was Harper Krause.
And how do you know Harper Krause?
Well, I guess that Harper had applied for a social studies teaching position that was open at Earhart, and Principal Jones asked me to sit in on his interview, and I'm actually the person who recommended that he not get the position.
If he wasn't given the position, how did you guys become such good friends?
Well, I could see that Harper was a good guy, so I pulled Principal Jones aside and had a private conversation with him and told him that Harper should be considered to replace Coach J. Smith, who would be retiring.
Now, would your friendship affect the validity of your testimony here today?
No, sir.
Alrighty, let's move on. Did you get permission for your events at USC?
Yes, Principal Jones signed off for all of my field trips.
So there was never a problem getting Principal Jones' signature?
No, eventually I didn't even have to ask for permission.
And what reason did Jones give you this freedom?
Because he trusted me.
As a teacher, how would you describe your relationship with the parents of your students?
For the most part, I get along with all of the parents pretty well, but then there are some parents who make you question why you even decided to become a teacher in the first place.
Were there any teachers in particular?
Well, Tyler Johnson could be difficult at times.
And what was so difficult about it?
Well, our first encounter came on an innocent high school field trip to our region.
And did you have any problems with it?
Apparently, she thought that by the students observing the art, it would make them uncomfortable because of their religious beliefs.
And did Tyler go on this trip?
And yeah, she was one of those kind of people.
Alrighty, what did you find troublesome about it?
Well, Harper, Tyler, she was one of those types of parents who thought that her kids could never do anything wrong, but as teachers could never do anything right.
Did you say anything to him?
Well, no. At first I thought that she was kidding. I like to try to find hidden meaning behind art too, but I thought that was taking it to a whole new level.
And how did he react?
She was not amused. Yeah, she was not amused. She coldly threatened me and told me that I better show her some respect.
And what kind of history did Tyler have at Earhart?
Well, she made Earhart's PTA the laughing stock of the area.
And how are they laughing?
They take up the most meaningless issues.
Can you give me an example?
Well, once they had to cancel a bake sale fundraiser because no one brought any baked goods to sell.
And how did that affect your reaction?
Well, I was a little rattled at first, but then I remembered Tyler's reputation, and I don't give much thought to people who can't sell cookies.
Did Tyler ever act on his threat?
Well, she didn't back down immediately, but she left me alone until her son took my freshman civics class.
Have you had any personal incidents with Tyler?
Well, there was an issue with her son's community service.
Now, Mrs. Gordon, why do you require community service?
Well, I require my students to take community service as a part of their grade because I believe that it helps them to understand the importance of giving back.
So what was the problem?
Well, I had instructed all of my classes to give their community service approved by me, and Tyler's son failed to do that.
All right, let's step back and divert your attention back to 2009. What significant event happened in the month of April?
Well, in the month of April, I was taking a walk past a small flea market in Earhart, and out of sympathy for for the poor guy running the shop, I went inside to see what they had to offer.
I need to ask a few questions about your religion. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
What is your religion?
Janus. I'm a Janus.
And when did you become a Janus?
April of 2009.
Alrighty. Did going into that flea market, how did you like your decision you made?
Well, yeah, when I went inside the flea market, I found a book that changed my life forever. Turn to the right, Janus Triple Gems by Shirag Shah. I bought and read the book from cover to cover that day.
And how did this book influence your life?
Well, on the following week, I began to alter my life to my new religion. I became a vegetarian, and I put many Janus symbols in my classroom.
Could you give me an example of one of these symbols?
Well, one of the symbols is the danya, which is the preferred instrument for the rhythmical knocking together when performing the raz, which is a celebration, a traditional dance celebration.
And did your conversion help you realize anything?
Converting to Jainism helped me realize the lack of knowledge of world religions at your heart.
So how did you go about starting the organization?
Well, I went to Principal Jones and ran my idea by him.
And what did he say?
Well, he told me that, how many times have I told you, Miss Gordon, you don't have to come with me come to me with every detail. Do whatever you think is right, and I take a step of approval.
Alrighty. And who else was involved in getting this organization started?
I had one student named Skylar Duvall, and she just handled any of the necessities.
So what happened after you started the club?
After I started the club, Principal Jones left for some reason, and Principal Loman came in.
And what did you observe about his arrival?
I observed that Principal Loman came in with a chip on his shoulder.
And what actions occurred after?
Well, Principal Loman came in, and he called me into his office for a meeting and demanded that I disband Free Spirit.
And did he say anything to you?
Well, he said that he would not have those type of religious groups set up shop in his school.
Is Free Spirit the only religious group at your heart?
No, I reminded Principal Loman that the Christian Peace Organization was not only an organization, but it also was a stipend to his faculty advisor.
And how did Loman respond?
Well, Loman said something to the nature of, you better watch your step, whatever you do, just because you're a good teacher doesn't mean you can't be fired.
And did you keep your distance?
Yeah, and it worked for about 2 years until 2010, when Principal Loman sent me an email saying, once again, that I must disband Free Spirit.
Now, if you saw that email, would you be able to verify it today?
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may approach the witness. Go ahead. That hand reports to be a true and accurate copy of that email. Is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor. I'd ask to be shown a copy of what was seen.
Is that a true and accurate copy of this email?
It is.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness? If there are no objections, Your Honor, the plaintiff would like to enter this as a piece of evidence. Plaintiff for one.
Introduce this. Is it an egg?
Yes. All right. Okay, can I approach the jury? Was the email the only way Roman tried to demand the termination of Free Spirit?
Well, apparently the email wasn't enough because moments later he barged into my classroom and yelled at me.
Now, what do you yell at you?
Well, he said something to the nature of, "You're sending these kids straight to hell, and I will not stand by for it any longer. People like you don't belong around here," and I don't know what he meant by people like me.
And how many people were in the room?
30 young, innocent kids who had to hear those offensive words.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Gordon. Let's revert your attention back to 2011. What mysterious event happened in the month of April?
There was a flyer for Free Spirit that was posted around the school that I had never seen before.
Now, if you saw that poster, you would have